What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, let me go over what I think everybody misses, which is voltage drop. Voltage drop is very critical in a business, in a build that you want to last long, right? In a build you don't want to heat up, you know? So, building at a 1% drop, especially commercial, right? You're going to be out there for years. You want it to run forever. So when you do 15% drop, that just creates a lot of heat. And whatever the battery has never gets to the pump because the wire is too thin, right? So this wire, for say, if you watched the video yesterday of the bucket sprayer, this is like 1187, right? And this is a 1387. These two wires don't even make up one of these. So it's not that I'm telling you you have to run it. So let me show you. Let's go further. When you run your numbers, okay, and you put Remco amperage, 24 amps, right, for the max circuit, which is what it says on the label. The wire length. When I get the calls from you, you're all running 10 feet of wire, which is 20 feet of wire total for the circuit, right? Now, I ran the numbers for you so you can see it. On a 20-foot run, 10 feet long, right? 20 feet total, 1% drop. It's asking for 4 gauge, not 10 gauge. Look. So here's what happens. I'm going to explain it to you. You might not understand it on here on paper, but maybe this way you will. These two little wires are not going to support your on and off and 10 feet of wire, which is 20 feet of wire. You see how thin this is? Okay. This is 6 gauge. This ain't even 4 gauge. My kits are built 5 feet long from the switch to the bus bar, and 18 inches from the switch to the battery connection, which is where the breaker breaks in half and then goes to the battery, right? But that's what I'm trying to explain to you. If you look at your car, the wires on that car are really thick. Have you ever had to change them? No. Why? Because it was built by numbers. This is how we were taught. That's why we're not replacing wires. So that's what I'm trying to teach you. I hope that makes sense, because a lot of you, if you watched the video from yesterday, I showed you this is 1187 and this is 1387. There's a big difference, because this chokes. This is 12.8 at the battery. This wire is like 12.5 to the pump, and then on the loads it could go to 12.3. Now you only got 0.3. This is another problem with thin wire. The thinner the wire, the bigger the drop, right? So when the voltage at the pump doesn't see 12 volts, that's when it becomes a problem. Not when the battery gets to 12. It's what's on the other end, which is the pump, which is what you're asking to do all this work for you, right? You really think this is going to get it there back and forth with no problem on 10 feet? Mind you, mine is only 5 feet and I'm using 6 gauge. See the difference? This is another 5 feet and they have to use 4 gauge on that 10 feet. Mine are 5 feet and I'll have to use 6 gauge. And people think mine's big. If you do this right, when you run the numbers with this 10 gauge, that's 4 gauge. And you think 6 is big? I don't know. But, guys, if you're gonna build, you gotta run the numbers. And it's funny because all the electricians are all with me on this. They all get it. If you don't understand it, if it doesn't make sense, please message me. If you really want to learn and understand what the difference is, please message me. Like I said, on the machine, 1187, 1387. Everybody came to me when we started this 4 years ago. Eddie, how do you get that spray? How do you get that distance? How do you get this? Well, number one, I know electrical, right? So I know I have to feed the power to the pump. or the pump's not going to spin, like I showed you on the machine. The lower the voltage, you go, but if you supply it to the pump, and the pump is seeing what the battery has, you're going to hear that major change, which in that major change, you get stronger pump, more distance, more flow. That's what everybody asks me, Eddie, how do you do it? It's just the wire. Besides the 3/4 to the reel and 200 feet of 5/8, I gauge my stuff too. Nobody ever gauges anything. I've asked so many shops, how you guys soft wash gauge? What's that? My local shops, not anybody else. Nobody has that stuff. So I built it because I built it a long time ago. And because I want to know what my tips are doing. You can't put the wrong tip in and go over 100 PSI on a 100 PSI pump. You'll blow it. These are things you have to learn when you're building a 12 volt. That's why I say you have to gauge your tips, gauge your system. When your system shuts off, you want to make sure it's not, if it's 100, you don't want it shutting off exactly at 100. You're maxing it out. Drop it down a little bit. But you don't want it going 105, 110 because it's going to end up blowing the seals on you. When it gets old, then you could have fun if your stuff supports it. But this is all I'm trying to teach. No hate here. Never been hated. If you have a question, I don't care who you are. Call me. Message me. Plenty of shops have called me. I've been to plenty of shops and trained. And I got a lot of thank you. I say I'm very knowledgeable. Like I said, I won't put my business out there until I have to. Have a great day.